Hey y'all, hey, welcome back. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day Wednesday. And as promised, today I am going to give my review and my recap of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever. Okay, so listen, I'm gonna jump right into it because I know this is going to be pretty lengthy because it's a lot of stuff that I need to talk about, that I need to get off my chest, that I need to discuss with y'all. Okay, and I do want you to get in my comments, tell me what you think about it, tell me what your thoughts were, what your thoughts are. I want to discuss, I want to have a dialogue, a respectful one, but a dialogue about it. Okay, I've been talking to friends and family, but I want to see what y'all thought about it, okay? And I'll start here. I gave the movie a B plus, okay? A B plus. I thought it was going to be very difficult, considering the circumstances, for this to be a bigger hit than the first one, or even as big as the first one. I just did not think it was going to be possible because we had not seen anything like the original Black Panther on screen, and it just took us all it just took all our breaths away. It was just a beautiful thing. So I knew it was going to be hard to recreate that magic that we got from the first one. And given the circumstances with the tragic passing, the untimely passing of the lead character, T'Challa, who's played by my good brother, Chadwick Boseman, we knew that I knew it was going to be very difficult to do a second movie and it be as big as the first one. So with that, with what they did, I did give the movie a B plus. Okay, but there's a lot. When I say there's a lot that I want to discuss about the movie, there is a lot that I want to discuss about the movie. And before I went, I went kind of late. I went after the weekend rush, so I had been hearing the reviews. Some people loved it. Some people thought it was absolutely awesome, given the circumstance, like I did. And then there were some people who were not happy with the movie at all. And I know, as with anything, you cannot please everybody. You just can't. It's impossible. You cannot please everyone. So that was a huge challenge going into the movie. I remember when we first heard the news that Chadwick had passed, the question was, are they going to recast T'Challa? Are they going to recast the character? And it was kind of split down the middle. Some people wanted them to recast it. Some people did not want, them to kill off the Black Panther. It would, be catastrophic for them to do so. They wanted them to recast. And then there was the people who wanted them to recast, but then who do you recast with? What actor are you going to bring in to fill those shoes? What actor is going to want to come in to fill those shoes, like to replace the original? So they came up with this script, okay? Now let's get into the script, honey. Disclaimer, this is a spoiler alert. If you have not watched the film, do not watch my video because I'm about to talk about the movie in depth, okay? So if you have not seen the movie, do not watch this video yet, okay? Come back to it after you've seen the movie, okay? So they incorporated the death of Chadwick Boseman into the movie, and his character T'Challa. So T'Challa dies, and the opening credits are giving honor and respect and paying homage to Chadwick Boseman, which was absolutely beautiful. You could hear a pin drop in the theater. Everyone was quiet. It was a moment, okay? Marvel did him justice with making all the picture collages of him within the Marvel lettering at the beginning of the movie. It was beautiful. So then we find out that the Black Panther, it opens up with his sister trying to find a cure for him, okay? So we find out that the Black Panther has this incurable disease. He tells his sister basically at the final hour, see if she can come up and recreate the herb, the heart-shaped herb, okay? Remember that. That's a huge part of this movie. Okay. So his sister's been trying to recreate the heart-shaped herb ever since Killmonger burned them all. Okay, remember that. Killmonger burned the heart-shaped herb when he was Black Panther because he didn't want no other Black Panther after him. Okay, remember that. So she's trying her best to recreate the herb. She's not able to do so. Hence, whatever mysterious illness that he has takes him out. Black Panther is gone. We lose him. We bury him. And I'm saying we because at this point, I'm Wakandan. Okay? At this point, Wakanda forever, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Always and forever. All right? So we mourn T'Challa at the beginning of the film in beautiful white. You know. Oh, I love it. Anyway, so Mother, I believe her name is Queen Ramona. I'm going to just refer to her as the Queen Mother, which is Angela Bassett. She ends up taking the throne, okay? And this was one of the bigger takeaways. There were so many different symbolisms put into this movie, but this was one that I caught immediately off the bat. And this was one of the criticisms, I believe, that the movie got. You know, there's really this fight, spoken and unspoken, in the Black community, males versus females, Black women versus Black men. There's this thing. I don't want to call it a huge thing, but there is the thing. Okay, we're not gonna play crazy like we don't hear it, we don't feel it from time to time, but there is this thing, this divisive thing with Black men and Black women that I hate. I really do hate it. We have to really work on this, okay? But there's this thing, and so part of the criticism was that this film, you know, they killed off all the Black men, and this film is all about Black women in power, and they're just pushing that narrative that Black women don't need men, Black women don't need Black men, and blah, blah, blah. That is not what this movie is about, okay? Do not go into the theater thinking that that is what this movie is about. That is not what this movie is about. What I gathered, because keep in mind, they had to base the movie. They didn't have to, but they chose to base the film off of the death of T'Challa. That wasn't written originally. Nobody knew Chadwick was sick. Nobody knew he was going to pass away. So that threw a curveball into the writing situation. They decided to add that into the writing of this script. So I'm not upset with that. It's not like they wanted to kill off King T'Challa. They didn't want to do that, okay? They could have chosen to recast him, but they didn't want to do that. They wanted to honor him, okay? So I'm not upset with that decision. This is not a male bashing movie. Please don't think it's that. I would love for you all to go to the movie. For me, what it symbolizes is what I know to be true in my life and most of the people that I know. Black women don't typically just want or desire to be in such a position of high power. I don't really think that's what we desire from the rip. I mean, I know there are ambitious women, you know, I happen to be one, but that's not what we desire at all costs, is to be the leader and be the head. And no, where we find ourselves oftentimes as Black women is that we have to stand in the gap from time to time, okay? That's no knock on anybody. That's not a knock on Black men whatsoever. It is just sometimes we find ourselves in the position where we have to stand in the gap until help comes, okay? And if help never comes, we're gonna be okay, okay? I don't know why that makes some folks uncomfortable, but it shouldn't. And so from this film, the Queen Mother stood in the gap. Okay? Her husband had been killed, the original, T'Chaka. Her son has passed away from some illness, T'Challa. And now it is just her. She's the Queen Mother, so she takes up the helm of running her and ruling her country. I don't understand. There's no fault in that. That's nobody's fault. Those are just the circumstances. Don't be upset when women make a way out of no way. We tend to know how to do that. It's nobody's fault. We're just built that way. Okay? So please don't take any pleasure in saying that's black women. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? We don't want that. We don't. We would love to be able to say, he got it. We would love nothing more. Okay? But if that's not our life, then we gonna strap up. Okay? That's what we do. All right? Don't be mad. Don't be mad at us for that. Y'all, please don't be mad at us for that. So that's what I gathered from it. The Queen Mother, she gathered herself, she mourned her baby, and she ran her country. Okay, and at the same time, she is under the pressure that there is no Black Panther, and the reason why there is no Black Panther is because Killmonger burned the herb. That's one part I think people are missing from the original. He burned the herb. There's no herb to even have another Black Panther. Okay? So then the other thing about it is there was no herb to even have another Black Panther, and then people mourn differently. Okay? So the sister, she's not mourning at the same rate that her mother's mourning. She's not mourning the same way her mother is mourning. She's throwing herself in her work, and she's really trying to figure out how to recreate this herb at the same time. Well, now trouble is brewing. Okay? Trouble is brewing. And there are two things about this that I really did not like. There were two major things about this movie that I thought were terrible. I was pissed off. I left the theater mad about it. Okay? The first one is this. And I'm not a comic book person by any stretch of the imagination. So I had to do a little research because I didn't want to come on here and be loud and wrong. Because it's one thing I hate more than anything is for somebody to be loud and wrong. Okay? That's not a good combination. You know, you can be loud, but know what you're talking about when you loud. Don't be loud and wrong, because now you seem ignorant. So before I went all the way in on this, I did a small bit of research. I wanted to research the character Namor, okay? Because he's the villain. And what they call him in the comic book world is, I believe, the anti-villain or the anti-something. Whatever the case may be. It means he's not exactly a villain, but he's not a heroine either. Anti-heroine, I think, or anti-hero, something. Whatever it is he's towing the line. He can either be an enemy or he can be an ally, is what Namor. And Namor is the villain, as far as I'm concerned, in this particular movie. Okay? He's the sea man. Okay? He's the sea mermaid who can fly, basically, is who Namor is. And my issue with the whole thing was, we can't have shit. We can't have a goddamn thing by ourselves. Why come we always have to share? Why? Why do we always have to share? Nowhere when I researched Namor did I see that he or his people, his underwater kingdom, ever had any kind of dealings with vibranium. Vibranium was supposed to be solely, exclusively Wakandan. In some kind of way, now a whole group of other folks got access to it. Now, I'm going to talk about the bits of symbolism in this. Because Namor, his lineage is Mexican, okay? Namor's folks are his ancestors, or I believe Mayan and Aztec, okay? So he has all that going in him. So Namor and his people are equivalent to black folks and Mexicans, okay? We in not the same category, but we close together. We should be. Big emphasis on should be allies, okay? Oftentimes we don't find that to be true, but in this movie, they touched on the symbolism of that, which I congratulate them on. My thing is, why they couldn't have another resource? Why did they have to have our resource? And yes, I told y'all at the beginning of this, I am Wakandan as far as I'm concerned. So it's our. Why do they have access to vibranium? I ain't like that. Why come they couldn't have their own resource? Get them something else, okay? They even made it so much so where they had their own hand gesture. Why come we can't have nothing? And I'm sorry, I ain't mean to yell. But that's how I felt leaving out of the theater. We can't have shit. You know, we was walking around here Wakanda Forever. That was our shit. It's still our shit. That's our shit. Ours. The imaginary vibranium is ours. Okay? Now here they go. They got vibranium under the sea, and they got everybody opening up their hands like a shell. I ain't like that. I ain't like that. I ain't like nothing about it. We can't have nothing. Why did they have to give them access to vibranium? Why? Why do we always have to share? I hated that. I hated that more than anything about this movie. I hated the fact that somebody else had access to vibranium, and I hated the fact that they gave them... Okay, I'm going to have to woosah, because it pissed me off. Okay? The other thing that I took away from this movie is everybody does not possess leadership qualities. I mean, several are called, you know, some folks really think they are leadership quality people, but everyone is not called to lead, okay? For a reason. Leaders cannot have one-track minds. Leaders, I mean, from the smallest group of leadership to the largest group of leadership. I don't care if you're a leader in your church choir, or a leader at your night watch on your street, or you're a leader in your fraternity or sorority, or if you are a leader of the United States or another country, name Wakanda. You cannot be a single focused one-track mind leader and be successful. Okay, when you're a leader, you have to think about other folks other than yourself. And so one of the biggest criticisms of the movie was she was a woman and she had sympathy for Namor. Okay, so again, like I said, everybody ain't fit to lead. Okay, this woman who was thrust into this position, who didn't want this position. Okay, she was fine just being the science geek nerd at the lab. Okay, being her brother's right-hand woman, being her mother's daughter. She was cool with that. But circumstances didn't allow her to sit and thrive there. She had to her first order was to recreate the heart-shaped herb, which she did. Under all that intense pressure, she recreated the herb, okay? And then tried it on herself to see if it actually worked, and it did. So the big elephant in the room is, yes, the Black Panther emerged this episode, this movie, but it was the Sister Shuri. She never wanted to be the Black Panther, but she did it out of sole necessity, because what? Yet again, she's standing in the gap. Okay? So she recreates the heart-shaped herb, takes it, becomes the Black Panther. While doing all of this, she's dealing with a second death that I ain't gonna even tell y'all about. Just in case you watching, you haven't seen it yet, I ain't gonna even let you in on the second huge major death in the movie. But she's dealing with that too. Might as well tell you, because I gotta tell you to keep keep it consistent. So her mother had taken up the mantle. Namor, the sea mermaid with wings on his feet, leader of the underground vibranium field posse of Aztec and Mayans, he told her mother, warned them, gave them stern warnings about if they did this, then he was going to do that. And he made good and kept good on his promise. That is what he did. Because Namor is trying to keep his people safe, just like she's trying to keep her people safe. That is the common denominator that they both have, okay? So, in doing so, she decided what he needed to do to keep his people safe, she couldn't allow him to do it. That is where the conflict came. And another thing I wanted to touch on was the fact that sisterhood was all through this movie. Yes, it was. Everybody feels like, you know, she should have just let him kill the young girl and everything could have been everything. Well, it wouldn't have been no goddamn movie if that had happened, okay? Keep in mind, I'm real passionate about this, but I do know that this is a fictional movie. Okay? But the other thing that I gathered from all of that is we really have to just embrace who we are. We can always say what people coulda, shoulda, and would have done. But at the very core of our people, my folks, black folks, our very core, at the core of our hearts and minds, most of the time, we are good people and we don't like mess and conflict. Now, I'm not saying we won't give you that, but that's not necessarily always our first option. We are really forgiving, kind natured people for the most part. Sadly, to everybody except our own people. That's the sick and sad part. We got to get well. We really have to get well. The compassion that we show other groups of people, if we could have that same compassion for each other, whew, Lord, I'm going to make myself shout. I'm just saying, generally, at the core of us, we are forgiving people. Now, with all of that being said, Shuri wasn't finna give up the young scientist from MIT because she saw herself in that girl. They were one from the rip. She knew she wasn't gonna let that man kill that woman. She wasn't gonna do it. And even she even went as far as trying to come to some type of agreement, some type of compromise with him. But she was not about to let this man kill her American sister. In science and in blackness, she just wasn't gonna allow that to happen. So sisterhood played a huge part in this film. Now, it subsequently cost her mother's life. Okay? Namor came to them once before and he told them he would come back again, and he came again. And all because not only did Shuri save this young woman, this young black girl from MIT, her mother, the queen mother, saved her as well when Namor came back with the water. Okay? So she is in tremendous debt to the Wakandans. But she's brilliant and she has a brilliant mind. So I'm sure in the future, Black Panther, she's going to be an asset and she's going to earn her keep. Anyway, all of this is a movie. It's all fictional. This was all written in the script. But I did not like the fact that they gave the water people vibranium. I did not like that they gave the water people a hand gesture. But I did like the symbolism in them having a fight. Because baby, they went to war. Make no mistake about it. They went to war. But I also want to bring up the fact, because people were very hard on Shuri for not killing Namor. She is new to leadership, number one. She has no counsel. And the only counsel that she has, I know they had the counsel around her, but the only real counsel that she has was that of M'Baku, okay? The gorilla man who lives in the caves with the snow. M'Baku. He told her he did not want to go to war because he knew that it was not just not good for her and him individually, but he knew it was not good for Wakanda. And when you are in a position of leadership, you have to think about the big picture, the country. You have to really think about that. And I know people are saying that she just would have killed the girl. It would have been easy. It would have been in real life, but this is a movie, so they had to make a script out of it. Anyway, y'all. So she gets Namor. She's the Black Panther. She takes the herb. The herb works. Okay? She's the new Black Panther. We going to war. They think we're weak, but Black Panther is back. We can defend our country. Okay? And they go to war with the water people in the water. Lord have mercy. So they take the fight to them in their domain. Well, they were doing good, but the water people, they have access to vibranium as well. So the fight was on. Okay? The fight was on and popping. Well, she and the scientist girl from MIT figured out that Namor is not as strong when he's out of the water. So they grabbed his ass, snatched him up, and took him to the beach. Took him to the desert where it was hot. He couldn't get in the water, so he was drained. He was kicking her ass though, but she came with it, and she actually had the opportunity. She had to make a decision on whether or not she was going to kill Namor and risk having all of his water people come for Wakanda, because they are the only people who know how to get to Wakanda. They can breach the walls of security of Wakanda, okay? She had to think about that. And she also had to know that Wakanda has no backup. Wakanda is small, but they have great resources, but they have no backup. And the water people outnumber them with the same vibranium. So you have to be smart. Everybody is not fit to lead. She made a decision to not just hastily kill Namor. She gave him a decision. She gave him a choice. Hey, man, you can either yield, and we can do this together, and we can be strong. We're stronger together than we are apart, or I'm going to have to chop your ass up. And so Namor, being the great leader that he is, decided he would yield. So they returned to the war together as a united front. Namor told his people, our fight here is done. She hit her folks, Wakanda Forever, and they returned to Wakanda. And all is not well in the universe, but all is simmered down right now, okay? So keep in mind, Namor got to go back to his folks, and he has to explain to his folks why he yielded to this woman, why he yielded to Wakanda. He had great excuse. He had a great reasoning, because the woman that he had to go back and explain himself to, she was ready to go fight. She was ready to pull. She was ready. He had to tell her, listen, Wakanda right now, the whole world knows about them. They don't know about us. And she's going to keep our secret. Okay. If they had gone to war with Wakanda and killed all the Wakanda, they would have, their secret would have been let out. So Shuri is keeping their secret, and they will be there for Wakanda when the world who knows about Wakanda is trying to come for them. So leadership is difficult. That's the other thing that I took away from this. Leadership is extremely difficult. And the last thing that I took away from this, and I'm going to close this because it's getting real long. I did not like the simple nod and simple gesture that they gave to lesbianism. I ain't like it. I'm sorry. I ain't like it. It wasn't no place for it. It seemed like they had to throw that in there at the last second. It was like at the last 5 to 10 minutes of the freaking movie, and it was very subtle, but it wasn't needed. I ain't liked it. Did nobody have no kind of romantic relationship throughout the entire movie, but y'all gonna have this woman kiss this other bald-headed woman on her head, and I ain't like it. It wasn't needed. It wasn't necessary. And I know everybody want to be included, but goddamn it, y'all done already made us concede with the Mexicans having, the water Mexicans having vibranium. That was enough, goddamn it. I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see it. I didn't. I had heard rumblings about it, but I didn't want to see that. I ain't liked it. Those were the two things I didn't like, okay? I didn't like the water Mexicans having vibranium and the hand gesture, and I didn't like the lesbianism. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. But my favorite part of the whole shindig was at the very end. And you know, if you watch a Marvel movie, they're going to have the end of the movie, credits will flow, and then they'll have another little small piece. And another little small piece, another little nugget that gave this the plus on the B was that Lupita's character, I forget her name. Lupita's character comes out, because she saved Shuri. She comes out holding the hand of this cute, precious chocolate drop of a young man whose name is Toussaint. And if y'all don't know who Toussaint L'Ouverture is, please go Google him. Okay? She had been living in Haiti. She did not come to the service for T'Challa. People weren't understanding why. Well, let me tell you why she didn't go. She didn't go because they had their own private ceremony. Okay, the young, beautiful chocolate drop of a gentleman that she brought out there to introduce to Shuri was her nephew, baby. Did y'all get the relief on her face when she found out that this was her brother's son? She was so relieved because she doesn't want to be the Black Panther. Instead of going to fight to become the real Black Panther, she was in Haiti meeting her nephew because she don't want to be the Black Panther. I think M'Baku gonna end up being the Black Panther. He the only one showed up to fight for it, which I don't even mind. I don't care about that. He could be Black Panther for a little while. I don't care. But baby, when the son of T'Challa get of age, he coming for the throne. And who gonna be in the theater waiting with popcorn and a Slurpee? Me. I will. Yeah. So y'all tell me what y'all thought about it. I loved the movie. Again, there were some things that I did not like, which I already discussed. I ain't gonna talk about it no more. I saw the symbolism in the joining of the cultures. Not even the joining of the cultures, but just in the knowing how to problem solve and resolve for the best of your people. I understood that. I got that. So I hope you all get that too. I hope y'all got it. Let me know, please, down in the comments how you guys felt about the movie Wakanda Forever. Okay, always and forever. Yes, I'm American, I'm a Texan, and I'm a Wakandan. All right, by way of Oak Cliff, Texas. I'm out. Y'all have a great day.